Hello and welcome to VR Family. This week I've been playing Moss in PlayStation VR. It's a new-ish release from publisher Polyarc coming out at the very end of February. In the world of Moss lives a little mouse called Quill. She finds herself on a quest to find her missing uncle and must traverse many different lands on her expedition. Luckily, little Quill is not alone in this quest. She has help from you, known as the Reader, to Quill and the other creatures in the land of Moss. Together you will solve puzzles, fight many monsters and explore the world. As the Reader, you can help Quill solve these puzzles using your godlike force to move objects or manipulate enemies. Moss is unique to VR in the way that you control both Quill and the Reader. Quill acts like most third-person adventure heroes, and you move her using the directional pads and the symbols to fight and jump. The Reader is controlled with the triggers and using the VR motion control to move objects. Every inch of Moss is beautifully detailed, from the cobwebs adorning the edges of a forgotten room to the reflection of the Reader in the pools of water. When you watch the gameplay of Moss on the screen, it looks good, but the real immersion is through VR. Like, the flecks of dust float through the air and it's like you're truly there. The main gameplay in Moss is puzzle solving, generally involving manipulating buttons or using your power as the Reader to try and gain access to the next ring. Most of the environment in Moss is interactable, so you might move one thing to discover the next piece of the puzzle, or even undo something you thought was the solution. Moss also has fights, and you fight different monsters, from cave beetles to wind-up clockwork explosive bugs. You fight in the typical hack and slash way using Quill's trusty sword. But what is unusual about Moss is the way that you can use the enemies to actually shape how the fight will go. Using the Reader, you can move them or even get them to fire at one another to get the upper hand on a fight. As the game goes on, the fights do get harder and you find yourself getting more and more het up if you lose, despite the only real consequence being you reset the room you're in. Also during the game, you become really attached to Quill, who herself is just an absolute triumph of a character. If she becomes low on health, you can hear her heart begin to slow. You can heal her with your powers. She also tries to guide you in the game if you get stuck, using sign language or very cute little squeaks. After one puzzle, Quill and I high-fived and I fell in love there and then. The music and sound effects in Moss are perfect. I've had the song Home to Me on repeat for the past few days. It just encapsulates the same feeling I get from playing the game. I feel like I'm really there. Even the voice reading the story in the hall is melodic and calming, and a lot of thought has gone into the music and sound, and it really shows. There are collectible scrolls to be found across the kingdom, but you have to look in really unlikely places to find them, often solving additional puzzles or defeating more enemies to gain access to them. The length of the game is around 4 to 6 hours, depending on how you play, which is a really great length for a VR game. I feel like I could go back and play this game again and spend more time looking for the scrolls to complete the picture that stands next to the book in the Great Hall. The end of the story does come very quick, but in a really exciting and nerve-wracking way. The book closes and the narrator declares that this is the end of book 1, so I'm hoping Polyarc have plans to release many more books. I have 2 tiny gripes with this game that I'd love to be changed before the next books. The first is when the story is told in the Great Book in the hall, there doesn't seem to be a way to go backwards in the story to hear it again. A couple of times I thought the story was finished, eager to get into the game, turn the page, realised that they were still talking, couldn't get back to it. My other issue lies with the decision to start each chapter of the book with a huge, bright, white flash of light, which when you're in VR can be quite disorientating and not that comfortable. It will come as no surprise for me to say that I love this game. This is something unusual and something different from VR. It's fully immersive without being gimmicky or giving you motion sickness. It's a standout for me and I am itching for more. Thank you for watching VR Family. I hope you enjoy Moss as much as I did. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and goodbye.